Hello, hello, hello again, beautiful awakeners. Okay, I had to come on for a video to get into another rant because the downloads recently have been next level. They've been non-stop, back to back. And the coolest part about these downloads is that my wife, Natasha, is also having pretty incredible downloads. Now, she's clairaudient. I'm definitely the opposite of clairaudient. I'm very clairvoyant, so I see everything that comes to me. She hears everything that comes to her, but the information is the same. So on behalf of my wife and the information that I'm receiving, I'm going to present to you information that I don't even know. I don't even know what to even call this information. It's pretty intense. Obviously, you're watching this, you're showing up for a reason, so this information is for you, but please try and hold the highest vibration. This is very important. I've been telling you this, well, at least it's been coming through me for all of you, at least for the past month, but this is like the anchor to lock it all in. I wasn't gonna do a video today, but it has to be done. It has to be done. Okay, so, I don't even know where to begin. Okay, so this morning, let's just begin here. Okay, this morning, my wife, Nat, was out walking the dog, and there was this huge garbage truck, and as the garbage truck thing went up, there was like a piercing, very loud sound. Within the sound of this frequency, she was able to tap in. Now, what she's been doing recently, so about a month ago, she's like, oh my goodness, like when I am trying to go to bed at night, I'm tapping into these frequencies and it feels like it's a radio station. And I told her, if it's a radio station that you're tapping into, why don't you try and tune the frequencies so that you can receive information? So she started to do this. So now when she's tapping in clairaudiently, she's tuning into the different frequencies, and sometimes she's listening to people's thoughts, sometimes she's listening to conversations that are happening 3 buildings over, and sometimes she's tapping into the etheric, cosmic information that's all around us. Really, truly, clairaudience is really cool. It's kind of like you're tapping into all of the cosmic radio stations within all of the different dimension densities. So this morning, she taps into the sound that's being made from the garbage truck while she's walking the dog. And instantly, she starts to hear this information. And I'll tell you what the information is. Like I said, don't freak out. And also don't leave after you hear this information, because you have to hear the follow through, okay? You have to know the full story. So the information that she received this morning was, the words that she heard was dimension interference, the nefarious agenda, the reptilians, the shadow government. I don't even like saying reptilians anymore because there's a lot of really good ones and they're churning to the light every single day. It's not just them. Let's just call them the dark side, okay? The shadow government, the Illuminati, the agenda, okay? That agenda, that nefarious agenda, she tapped in to this frequency of what they were projecting. And what they were projecting was, and it's all about COVID, all right? What they were projecting was, with every new strain of COVID, there's going to be a new vaccine. With every vaccine, there's some agenda that they're pushing on us. And instantly when she told me that what the dark side, okay, what the Illuminati are trying to do is they are trying to interfere with our dimension interference. They're trying to interfere with our timelines, right? Super interesting. So then when she told me that every new COVID strain has a new vaccine and it's just going to be this perpetual, never-ending fucking bullshit, okay, that we're going to experience moving forward. Once again, do not hold fear with this. I have a follow-through for you. This instantly reminded me of this 40-page paper that I did in university that was the war on terror, right? I went to university for politics, the war on terror. I wrote this whole thesis paper saying that the 9/11 attacks, which obviously I believe were created by the government itself, all right, created the Patriot Act, martial law. It created this atmosphere of, it's not a war against Osama bin Laden and a country, it's a war on terror, which means any one of you, even our own citizens, can be a terrorist. Therefore, it's this perpetual, never-ending war on terror, which I believe was another big piece of the agenda, okay? So all of a sudden, she's downloading this information saying that every COVID strain has a new COVID vaccine, and it's this perpetual, never-ending, hey, we've got to get all these things, right? Super interesting. So she's picking up on this dimension interference and what their plan was. And I had this other download when she was talking, and what was it? Oh yeah, okay. So think about a police scanner, right? So if you were to have like a ham radio or just a radio, even though the police scanner frequencies are out in the same radio waves that a normal radio uses, they're offline in a sense. They are private frequencies in a sense, because we could still buy a police scanner and tap into those frequencies. So in a very cosmic way, in a very astral way, in a very interdimensional way, the dark side, the nefarious agenda, right? What Natasha is doing is she's picking up on all of the frequencies in the astral realms, and she's picking up on the nefarious agenda. So that kind of brought to me, it's like, oh, so why are the nefarious beings, okay, projecting their agenda into waves that are accessible to light workers? Just think about it. You would think that they would have that shit on lockdown. You would think that they would want to be a little bit more sneaky about it. The second Nat opens up her freaking clairaudience mind, she's tapping into their agenda. I know, this is like crazy, guys. It's just like, it's insane, but I had to relay this to you. Okay. So the download that came to me when she was saying that, I was seeing everything that she was experiencing visually, and it all resonates. Yeah, of course. Yep, of course that's their agenda. And I also believe that they're projecting that agenda because they're scared. Okay. I just get so excited about this. All right. I had the download. This happened like half an hour ago. I had the download based on her download and picking up on the nefarious agenda that they're projecting about the COVID and the COVID vaccine and all of that. They are literally projecting their agenda to light workers that are waking up and that are accessing their clairvoyant, clairaudient, their psychic abilities, so that we actually create the fear around that agenda and we focus on that timeline. They are specifically targeting us, and that's why so many lightworkers are scared. Remember that video that I did where I was kind of yelling at all of you guys saying, stop it. Stop holding space for the fucking fear agendas. Stop projecting, stop focusing on that, because we're creating that. Remember how angry I got? And the Galactic Federation is, guys, like, stop, you're powerful, stop doing this. Now, 3 days later, it all comes back around saying, hey, you know what? I don't even blame you for focusing on those fear and lower vibrational timelines, because they're getting projected to us. And if we're not aware of the fact that we're just picking up on this stuff, and if you're not as fine-tuned as I am within your discernment, understanding that this is happening for a reason. We're picking up on this information in these timelines for a reason. They're getting projected to us. We're aware of that for a reason. This is information that you're not going to be able to read online. This is information that we're downloading and picking up from different dimension densities. And the more psychic you get, the more you're going to pick up on this, the more you're just going to say, hey, this is the truth. I'm picking up on this. This is my download. If Nat didn't have me to say, whoa, 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 this is an agenda and it was specifically targeted and projected to you, right? I mean, she would freak out. She would freak the fuck. I would too if I didn't know, right? Then in that moment, I asked the Galactic Federation, I said, guys, like, why did Nat pick up on that agenda? Like, why was that projected to her? The information came through that once again, the dark side are so scared. They are so scared at the timeline that we're creating. And I don't know if you guys went to the event or you saw the recording of the event and the Galactic Federation Q&A at the end, but it was so amazing. What they said, and I think it was based on a question that someone asked, is that based on the rant video that I did, I don't know, a week ago, we were able to shift the timelines back. When I yelled at all of you guys saying, stop focusing on the lower vibrational timelines, we were able to shift that. It only took a very small percentage of the population to hold the highest frequency because our vibration is powerful. That's why the dark side are twisting and manipulating and giving us this information, which could potentially be true in one timeline. And the more that we focus on that timeline, the more possible it is and the more true it becomes. They understand how the fucking Matrix game is played and they're manipulating it. And we need to stay one step ahead of it. And the Galactic Federation told me this morning, the Palladian Security Council told me this morning, that Natasha picked up on those frequencies this morning for a reason, for me to receive the information of, oh, this is why light workers are focused on this lower vibrational timeline, is because they are specifically getting targeted and they are specifically getting that timeline projected to them because they're listening, but they may not have that discernment. So you may be listening, you may be getting that information, and you may be locking it in as, oh, yep, that's true. That's exactly what's happening. And when I say, yeah, there's a bunch of different COVID strains, which means that there's a bunch of different COVID vaccines, which means that it's a never ending, you've got to get a vaccine every 6 months. That makes sense at a logical level. Absolutely. We can all see that that is very clearly a path that can be taken moving forward. Just like we could all probably very clearly see the bullshit that happened back in 2001, 9/11, that was a projection, right, of the war on terror. So it makes sense, but once again, it also means that they're scared. And I put out that video that I put out a month ago. They're scared. They are fucking scared. And these are their tactics. And I feel like I am supposed to see all of their tactics in a way where I allow all of you who are the teachers, the light workers, the starseeds, the volunteers, the Galactic Federation ambassadors, to stay one step ahead. We're in a war, you guys. We are in the middle of a fucking war. And they are pulling out all the stops. And we need to realize that everything that they pull out is manipulation tactics. I've said this in other videos, but I also want to mention one of their tactics that they've used this past year, and even 2018, 2019, I saw this as well. And I'll just say it, not to speak it into existence, just so that you have discernment, so that you're aware of their tools. You know, my last video, 5D tools to ascension for 2021, the Galactic Federation and myself, I'm channeling all of these tools for you to have all of your light weapons prepared, to have all of your awareness attuned, so that you've got everything that you could ever possibly need moving into the new year, moving into this crazy warfare, this crazy polarity, but then also rising above it all, right? Same thing, they're pulling out all the stops. And one of the things that they've done that I've noticed in the past couple of years is they have targeted the people who watch me. And if your vibration is low enough or you're in doubt long enough, they actually come into your dreams, and it's going to sound crazy, and they skew your current beliefs. And one of the things that I've had from, luckily, people who have been vulnerable enough to share this with me is people who follow me or follow my content have had dreams where I'm either doing something really corrupt in their dream, or the information that comes through in their dream is my face and do not trust. My face and do not trust. My face and do not trust. They've literally come through people's dreams to target their belief in me, so that all of a sudden you're doubting the content that comes through me because in a dream you picked up on the information that actually, I'm an illusion or a bullshitter or a false prophet or whatever, right? Which is really kind of awesome in my perspective, because fuck, that means I'm really onto something, right? If they're really utilizing that many of their resources to kind of take me down and skew that perception in other people, how powerful is it? How powerful is the information that's coming through me if they're really trying to target one by one and skewing that? And of course, the YouTubers that have put out all that information on me and exposing the real Elizabeth April, it's kind of comical. Sometimes it's a little bit scary for my human, because it sucks, that people would lie about you. But at the same time, wow, like I'm really making an impact because they are scared, right? Even this past year, there was a rumor that my assistant Lauren was a reptilian, and it was going around my channel that she was a reptilian and she was manipulating me. If you guys knew Lauren, you would know that she is the biggest sweetheart and the most pure soul you've ever met. So it's very interesting, their tactics. So they've tried a lot of things to kind of take me down or to discredit me, which is cool. It's like, bring it on, right? Ultimately, you have that discernment. But now we're getting into their planetary tactics. Now we're getting into their timeline tactics. Now we're getting into their tactics that are a little bit more complex and a little bit more sneaky. And so I'm setting the intention right now that moving forward and for 2021, and I'm asking, okay, just by using my words right now, I'm asking the Palladian Security Council and the Galactic Federation, please keep me up to date on their tactics so that I can keep all of you up to date on their tactics so that we don't need to feed into them, so that we don't get sucked in, so that we don't get manipulated. As long as you have the information, you have the liberation. You will not get sucked into polarity if you understand both sides of polarity. That's why if you only focus on love and light and peace and rainbows and butterflies, you're going to leave yourself very vulnerable to the dark side because you haven't experienced that so that you can get manipulated by that. It is through experiencing low vibrations and high vibrations. It's through experiencing the dark side and the light side where you can then choose to navigate, okay? So if you went through an ego death, if you had to face your demons, if you had to look at your shadow side in 2020, good for you. You have to do that to become a master. You have to do that to move into 5D ascension and awakening. There is no other way to go about doing it. You can't just go from high vibration to high vibration. It doesn't work like that. 5D is a quantum state of both polarities. It is not just one or the other. If you're all 3D, you can't move into 5D. If you're all, let's say love and light, you can't move into 5D. You have to be rooted in both experiences to move into that. And I had this huge download last night that I'm going to bring to all of you on, what is this? Monday, I guess. Okay, the 28th, next Monday. And it's about polarity bringing us into neutrality. Polarity brings us into neutrality. And I'm going to leave it at that because I want to deep dive into it on Monday. But I just want to tell you guys, there are things that they are using, all right? Just because you're in your own bubble and things are great for you, which is amazing, and you're really holding the highest frequency, and I'm glad, we still need to be aware that they are still trying. We cannot be ignorant to the fact that it is all love and light and rainbows because it's not, okay? We have to be vigilant, my friends. We have to be vigilant. We have to be aware. And from being aware, we always have to come from a place of understanding that it is one aspect. And that is what is allowing me to transmute all of the darkness, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the nefarious projected agendas, is always going back to that is not the only reality. That is not the only existence. That is not the only thing here at this time. There is so much more. There is another agenda, which is a light agenda. And beyond the light and the dark agendas, there is just pure source, which is amazing and beautiful. This is all an illusion, but what a fucking magical illusion to be in. What a great time to graduate from Earth School. To really be faced and confronted with all of the darkness in the world, all at the same time, but to also be faced with all of the light in the world. and realizing that this planet and this world and this frequency is just a small microcosm of the macrocosm that is out there in the universe. This is not just any old plain old third dimension frequency planet. This is not that. This is so much more than that. And I'm so privileged. I am so grateful. I am so blessed to be here at this time. I am so blessed to be holding space objectively to witness all that is. And everything that ever has been in this universe is happening right here, right now on this planet at this time. And you are here getting this information firsthand because you are ready to understand and go to those higher frequencies and those higher perspectives. That's incredible that you created this moment right now where you're getting this information. I mean, this is unprecedented, you know, and ultimately there are so many other aspects because this information is disclosed to all of us right now. This information was never allowed to be out there. They are losing because this information is disclosed. It's as simple as that. They can't suppress us anymore because there are too many of us. We have strength in numbers. I was just doing a beautiful little journal entry on my 2020 year. And it was really funny. One of the statements that I kind of realized is, you know what? You would think that the more and more people who watch my content, the more scared I would be about releasing information on the reptilians and information on the agendas and information going as deep as I'm going. You would think that I would actually go a little bit more basic the more people that watch me. But as a matter of fact, I've been going harder than ever before with so many eyes on me. And what I realize is that it's the safety in numbers. The more and more people that understand and know the information that I know, the safer I am in knowing the information. Right? I mean, they can't target all of us. Just like if we all put our foot down and all said no to vaccines, you know, we're going to change things. We have the power in the numbers. So the more people that know this information, the better for everyone collectively, because it disseminates it. It's the power is in the numbers and the power is in the knowledge. So I'm very grateful to have all of you to be so open and so vulnerable and just so open-minded with this information and the different timelines. And it still baffles me every day that I can relay the downloads that I have to you almost instantly. Before I would write it down and wait 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. And now here it is. Everything that I've ever received is now. Because you're ready and humanity's ready, and I'm grateful. So thank you guys so much for listening to this. Hold the highest frequency. They are trying their tactics, but we are one step ahead, my friends, and I am excited to know this information and to have a wife that's also clairaudient and she can pick up on that information. With my visual and her clairaudience, I mean, talk about dream team. And then to have all of you as well, basically putting your foot down and saying, no, you can't get away with this anymore. One more thing, because it's popping in. My whole life, I've been psychically attacked ever since a kid. They, have tried all of their tactics to take me down before I got to the point where I'm standing in my truth and I'm speaking my truth, right? They've tried everything physical, everything non-physical, everything in dream time, like everything you could ever possibly imagine. And so I know that the more that we put our foot down to say, no, you can't get away with that, the more they have to try something different. And then we're aware of what they're trying with this new thing, right? And then we put our foot down. They're just going to try and try again, but the more that we put our foot down, the more that they know that they can't get away with their tactics. The more creative they're going to be, and eventually they just give up, especially since the light is winning right now. Right? So it's just interesting. I just feel like I've been experiencing this whole light and dark battle my entire life. And now that I feel like I've neutralized the darkness and any sort of fear that I have behind it, I can now help all of you neutralize that fear, and collectively we can come together to neutralize any of their fear tactics, any of their projections at a collective level. So I'm like also just standing in this gratitude of thank you for all of the psychic attacks that I've ever fucking been through in my entire 28 years on this planet, and also all of my other past lifetimes, because it's gotten me to this point where I don't hold the fear anymore, and I can be a teacher teaching both light and dark without any fear frequency whatsoever, right? So just so much gratitude today, and once again, grateful for you guys. So thank you, keep up the good work. This video is going to be uploaded to my membership on YouTube, so check that out if you want to follow through on the beginning of this video and the information in it. Bye guys, have a beautiful holiday season. I hope that you are downloading and contemplating and reflecting and journaling and taking baths and taking walks and just like giving love to yourself, because this isn't about Christmas, okay, in the traditional sense. If you do celebrate that, it's about so much more and so much deeper, and we have to go to those deep levels right now, because we're getting tested and we're getting trained and we're getting prepared, okay, for the new year, for this epic journey, because it's begun and there's no way that we're stepping back from here. Love you all so much. Bye for now.